Hello and welcome to today's reading. Today we are using The Artist's Way, A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity by Julia Cameron. And as always, all of the books or decks that are used in my readings are linked in the description box. So if you want to check out any of the materials we use today, you can go down there and see that. And we are on page 68. The cost of a thing is the amount of what I call life, which is required to it be exchanged for it, immediately or in the long run. Henry David Thoreau. When people do not want to see something, they get mad at the one who shows them. They kill the messenger. A child from an alcoholic home gets into trouble scholastically or sexually. The family is flagged as being troubled. The child is made to feel shame for bringing shame to the family. But did the child bring shame? No. The child brought shameful things to light. The family shame predated and caused the child's distress. What will the neighbors think is a shaming device aimed at continuing a conspiracy of illness. It sounds to me like there is something that you are wanting, that you have been struggling with for a long time. You may be hoping that eventually you'll prove yourself worthy of receiving this thing or achieving this thing. Or you may be hoping that someday people will see you as a good enough person and you'll just be allowed to. Or you may be on the side of, well, I guess that just isn't for someone like me. Unfortunately, this is a common thing with many people, and many people experience this undeservingness or guilt for wanting something that is inherently unique to them. You may be feeling a lot of sorrow, feeling like you have to mourn something that you have always wanted, or something that even if you didn't always want it, you're mourning the ability to want it and actually set out to get it for yourself. But I don't think that you should be giving up on it just yet. However, it's going to take a lot of work for you to get to the place where you can allow yourself to receive this. And you may even reject it quite a few times before you do, and you may already have. I'm seeing a ballerina, a male ballerina, wanted to do this his whole life. He wanted to dance with one of the big companies, and he wanted to be a principal dancer. And he's always wanted this his entire life. But his family dynamics were such that his sister was the one that was allowed to go to ballet, and because she started before him and the family approved of her doing that, he kind of just followed along because she was already going to dance classes. They look at him and see it as a pastime, whereas they consider it to be a serious endeavor for her. And she never panned out very well. She didn't really have the talent for it. She didn't really have the drive for it, but she enjoyed the attention and she enjoyed other elements of it, like the music and the sense of community. But this boy, he really had the talent for it, and he could have been that principal dancer. And now he is facing the end of his sister's career, and as her career in dance ends, the attitude towards it is that there will be no more dance in our life, and because she is ending her career, nobody else can open that door. And no one ever took it seriously for him, and so he feels that it's not something he's allowed to be interested in, even though he really could make it all the way. Of course, this person has a lot of other talents and skills that will benefit them and will allow them to create another experience that will align with them. But it's still heartbreaking that because of the attitude from the people around him, he was made to feel like his desire for it was insignificant, and he now has received many opportunities as he moved away from his family for college, and there were group ballet classes and amateur ballet theaters that he could have joined, but because of this internalized closed door to this dream that he's always had, he feels that there's no way he could possibly climb the ladder now. There's no way that he could possibly rock the boat and do this thing that he's always wanted to do. And where would he start? And what would he say? And what would happen? I mean, would he even make it anywhere? Or is this just a silly joke and he's proving everyone right that it's not something to be taken seriously for him? There's all of these different feelings coming through that's very confusing, and none of them are particularly positive towards this thing that is very much in alignment for this person in the example. And I'm feeling like this is where you are at, and this is an incredibly high price to pay for the sake of not rocking a boat. This is an incredibly high price to pay for the sake of keeping the peace. Because while there are other things out there, you are being robbed and robbing yourself of the opportunity to explore something that you genuinely find interesting and exciting and that you hold very close to your heart. And you're being encouraged to do whatever you can to try to recover this desire, this dream of yours. It may be that the thing that you think your dream isn't the thing, isn't the gold in the experience, but something else is. But you won't know that until you get there. It could also be that this thing is absolutely for you, and you could be the next best principal dancer, but you won't know that until you actually get to this place. I am not getting a particularly aggressive or intense feeling from your upbringing or familial side, so it almost feels like it was just never acknowledged, but I don't think that's true for all of you. I think for some of you it was pretty intense, and so I realized that just trying it isn't necessarily an option for you. And if that's the case, then what you should be doing is thinking about and working through your resistance to what your goal is, what this dream is, and what would happen if you did go for it and you were successful? What would happen if you did go for it and you weren't successful? Would these people still be standing beside you? Would they have negative consequences to impose on you? Are there any ways that you can mitigate these negative consequences so that if they don't have a positive reaction towards you going for this thing, regardless of its outcome, can that backlash be buffered and buffeted so that it doesn't hit you as hard? Of course, it will be sad and painful if these people disapprove of you, just like you thought they would or knew they would. But you have to get to a point where, I'm hearing ringing in my right ear right now, you have to get to a point where you care more about trying anything, because where you are now is never going to satisfy you. It is too high a price to pay to sacrifice your own potential to keep others happy. I hope that this reading resonated. It was very unique and interesting, and I hope that you could apply the story to yourself. Let me know in the comments what's going on. If you feel like sharing, like the video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you do that, hit the notification bell and select all notifications so that you actually get updated every time I upload a new video. Until next time, bye.